Good Friday morning. We'll puck it inside the WVLT newsroom. Thanks for joining us for Catch Up Quick here on March the 6th on WVLT Plus. We're going to look at a topic of a number of your day's top headlines. Also, your First Alert forecast with First Alert meteorologist Sydney Sullivan. She's going to tell you that today we might break a temperature record, but also let you know that you're probably maybe going to have to batten down the hatches late Saturday afternoon as a round of strong storms move through. Sydney's going to break all of that down for you coming up here in just a second. But again, we want to go ahead and get straight to your top headlines of the day. All right, just moments ago, we're learning the University of Tennessee at Knoxville is set to get nearly $10 million in federal grant money to address transportation and pedestrian safety on campus. It's for federal low or no emission grant money. That's where that $10 million comes from. Most of it will go towards 10 new hybrid T-buses. University officials say those buses will arrive on campus by fall of 2027. The hybrids get about twice the fuel economy and cut carbon emissions, they say, by about 30%. They do hope that the additional buses will mean shorter wait times, possible new routes, and fewer cars on the growing campus. The second federal grant will pay for more pedestrian safety technology and help pinpoint areas where future safety upgrades are needed. A handful of attention, or a bit of attention, has been paid to this on the University of Tennessee's campus as obviously the campus grows and more students opt not to bring their cars on campus. I believe I'd heard that freshmen aren't allowed to have their cars on campus this year, so obviously a lot more folks walking and hopping on those T-buses. All right, Knox County Schools last night approving a plan that's going to redistrict and rezone Powell Elementary School. This is something we've been following for you for a couple of weeks now. We're learning that the board has voted 5-2 with 2 board members not voting at all, that they will rezone about 200 students who are zoned currently for Powell Elementary School. Those 200 will be split amongst Amherst, Bricky McLeod, and Carnes starting in the fall of 2027. So you have until 2027 to get planned for your children to be rezoned if they're currently zoned in Powell Elementary. Now, it is important to note the new plan that Knox County Schools adopted yesterday does offer a little bit of alleviation to folks and families who are a part of this. One, you have a grandfather clause, so your kid can stay there through 5th or 8th grade. The caveat to that, though, you will have to provide them with transportation. Additionally, you can opt to leave early from the district if you want to, not the district, but that zoning for Powell. If you want to leave early, you're able to opt into that and start going to either Amherst, Bricky McLeod, or Carnes, again, starting almost as soon as possible. Couple of caveats to that, though. We have that outlined for you inside your WVLT News app. There are some strongly held feelings about this topic at Knox County Schools. The board basically saying, look, this was going to happen no matter what. This is the best way we're going to do it. While parents say this is going to be too interruptive to students' learning.
Inevitably, we're going to end up with the same answer, but it's not going to be as desirable as this one is, as far as the options that we're giving families.
Rezoning is one of the most disruptive tools a school district can use, and it moves children away from established school communities, separates neighborhoods, and changes the stability and families depend on when choosing where to live and raise their children.
Again, the vote passed 5-2 with 2 board members not voting. All right, let's stick in Powell for you this morning. This video you're watching is from the Tennessee Department of Transportation. Mark Nagy sharing it with us. This is video of what caused those rolling roadblocks on I-75 yesterday, north and south. Northbound lane starting at Callahan Drive, southbound lane starting at Raccoon Valley Road. Emory in both directions, east and west, was also implementing rolling roadblocks as this blasting took place. By 2028, TDOT will be finished putting in a diverging diamond intersection here. Look, if you've driven this portion of Emory Road right at 75, you know that on a good day, it is a rough stretch of road, especially at drive time. This is supposed to help you if you've ever been to exit 407. You end up running on the right side of the road for a bit and the left side of the road, or the left side if you're heading on the right side and vice versa. It's all to help traffic flow and alleviate traffic pressures in that stretch. Again, this is supposed to be done by the spring of 2028. This is all part of that diverging diamond intersection that they're going to put there at Emory Road. If you were at that Weigel's or say at Waffle House and you heard a little bit of, or felt the earth shake, well, now you have your answer. This video shared by Mark Nagy and the Tennessee Department of Transportation. As you can see that watermark up in the right-hand corner. All right, another story that we've been following for you ad nauseum is the possibility of either Knoxville or Gatlinburg receiving a boring tunnel free of charge. We talked to the city of Knoxville. They said they had nothing to do with this. We found out that a gentleman from Sweetwater actually put in this application for Knoxville to get this free 1-mile tunnel. He said it would run from Neyland Stadium to Market Square and help on game day. Here's what he told us yesterday about the application.
So I had to follow the parameters set by the Tunnel Vision Challenge, and that was, a mile long. So I started looking, and I was like, well, what, to and from destinations, what would be the best? And then, I landed on that.
This is Casey Leakley. He is the man from Sweetwater who put in Knoxville's application. Still currently trying to find out where the application came from when it comes to Gatlinburg, but Gatlinburg, City of Pigeon Forge, Sevier County, all signaling that they don't have a problem with it. This map shows that it would run from the Mountain Mile all the way to Gatlinburg is the idea here. Obviously would be extremely beneficial during the winter months to have that come together. So it's something that we're going to keep an eye on. We'll continue to ask who put in the application for Sevier County, and as we learn that, we will pass it along to you. All right, let's go ahead and bring First Alert meteorologist Sydney Sullivan in. And Sydney, you and I this morning, we were looking at, you have this map when we show people travel times through McGee Tyson Airport, and you have a list of destinations. And I go, it's supposed to be 81 in Miami today. That means that we are almost, if we go a little bit above what we're forecasted, we could be as warm, if not warmer, than the city of Miami today.
Which is kind of hard to believe. And this does mean that we could, in fact, break some records. I'm very confident that we will reach 80 degrees. I told you earlier that I almost bumped it up to 81 because it's just trending so much warmer.
Well, we got to do it for the bit now so we can match Miami,
Exactly, actually, I love a little competition there.
Yes.
So that does mean we could possibly see record-breaking temperatures for today. First 80-degree day of the year, and looking likely that we'll continue to see that moving into tomorrow as well. But tomorrow's a little bit interesting in the sense that we've got a lot of fuel in the atmosphere to spark some storms. So the severe weather risk, it's on the low side, but it's that time of year where things get a little bit interesting, especially when you see these drastic changes in the weather pattern or the temperatures. So it's kind of more or less that balance between the transition of the seasons. So we have enough fuel where we could see a low end chance for isolated strong to severe storms. So as far as today goes, if you're planning on being out and about, not too bad. You might come across a stray shower here or there. That happened to me yesterday. Just a few sprinkles.
Me too, actually, on the way to the gym.
And I was kind of, I don't want to say shocked. I did
You weren't
forecast
shocked,
it,
yes.
but I did look up and I was like, wait, is it actually? Because it was just enough to where, kind of impacts you a little bit.
Yeah, totally.
So similar setup for today, but moving into tomorrow, if you do have any plans, I know there's so many fun things happening throughout this weekend. I think most of the daytime is dry. So if you're gonna get out and about, you are pretty much good to go up until about that 3-4 o'clock time frame. So this is where that line of showers and storms start to approach us. I think the main impacts for us going to be those strong gusty winds, especially across the plateau. Now that line kind of holds together even through that 7-8 o'clock time frame, even lingering into the later part of the overnight. But most of this activity kind of a short-lived time frame. So from 4 to 9 o'clock tomorrow, late in the day, I think that'll bring in the best chance for seeing those storms. And then a lot of it's already out of here by midnight. Now we're not completely done with the rain. Into Sunday, you might come across a few scattered showers here or there, but that activity is fairly minimal. But look at the 8-day. The rain chances, yes, they are with us each and every day. Temperatures on a bit of a roller coaster. So we go from 80 degrees today into tomorrow and then dropping right near 70 degrees on Sunday. Don't forget we spring forward over the weekend. So losing that hour of sleep, but hey, I love a later sunset. So something to look forward to. And then notice towards the end of the 8-day planner, temperatures kind of leveling out a little bit more. So it's going to feel quite a bit cooler, but normal high this time of year, upper 50s. So it's at least a little bit closer.
Getting to where we should be. When we talk, you and I like to call them spicy storms when they get a bit severe. When we're talking about, if you will, the spiciness of these, not to be tongue-in-cheek with it, what are we looking at on how nervous should people be, or folks suffer from maybe a little bit of nervousness about severe storms? Where should they be? What should they do?
Yeah, and I know when we show the severe weather threat, that is oftentimes a big concern. Definitely something to keep in mind. Make sure you've downloaded our app. It's one of those things where we, in the weather department, we are updating that app every single day, really all throughout the day. So if any storms do pop up, we will be tracking it, we'll be monitoring it. I think, again, it's on the very low side, which is good news for us. Very different picture further west and northwest of us, stretching from Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri. Those are spots that are really going to see a lot of activity. So, yes, it's something to watch. Wouldn't be nervous about it. Just keep a close eye on the forecast for tomorrow.
All righty. Sydney, thank you so much. We'll go ahead and let you get ready for WVLT News at Noon. Sydney Sullivan, thank you, man. All right, let's go ahead and talk about a very busy weekend on the campus of the University of Tennessee, as almost every sport that you can imagine is playing this weekend, except for the Lady Vols basketball, as they lost last night in the second round of the SEC tournament. But Lady Vols softball is back on the diamond inside the circle as they welcome in number 17 LSU for the start of Southeastern Conference play. They're on a 3-game weekend series as they hop into conference play. They are sitting at 20-0 on the season. 24-0 is the best start in team history. Obviously, they'll be 1 game away if they sweep LSU this weekend. We also do want to get you an update on the question. A lot of you are asking, how is ace pitcher Carlin Pickens? She remains listed as day-to-day. The WVLT sports team is learning that after this happened midweek against Belmont, she has been told, or we've been told, that she has avoided a serious injury, and she is healing an arm strain. We do not know her availability for the LSU game this weekend. We know that she is day-to-day. She's obviously going through the handshake line post-Belmont, laughing, smiling, and gave handshakes with her right arm, and so that obviously plays a little bit of a role into it, but we're learning still Carlin Pickens day-to-day going into the LSU series with an arm or shoulder strain. We'll continue to keep an eye on her availability as the Lady Vols go for a record 24-0, well 23-0, and then trying to get another win after that to match the all-time best start to a Lady Vols softball season, which is currently sitting at 24-0, 24 wins, 0 losses, but the ladies do welcome in LSU this weekend, the 17th ranked team in all the land. All right, baseball is also on the diamond this weekend inside Lindsey Nelson Stadium. They're your ranked 17th Vols. They welcome in Wright State out of Ohio. First pitch today, 6:30. In a 3-game series, they start SEC play next weekend, 4 games until they play SEC ball. Last time the Vols in Wright State won, a 9-8 win for the Vols. So Wright State obviously going to remember a little bit of that action as they come into Lindsey Nelson Stadium for a weekend set. Walk-off grand slam winning that game for the Vols as it develops. All right, we're going to wrap things up here on WVLT Plus and catch up quick today. A couple of programming notes. We'll be back here at 2 o'clock to show you a brand new app the brand new WVLT News app that just launched yesterday. It's a new app of sorts. It's a new design. It's the same one, the one that you have now. You're not going to have to download a new one. Simply all you'll have to do is update that. Our Harry Sullivan will show you how to do that. He'll run you through what the new app looks like, how it runs, everything that you can get from that. It's going to be just a better app experience for you. Easier access to your breaking news of the day, all the information you want to know. Also, how to stream us live inside that app is going to be a little bit more free-flowing and easier to do moving forward. Another programming note, 4 o'clock today, Chancellor Dondi Plowman is a part of a roundtable with the president at the White House talking about name, image, and likeness and the future of college athletics in America. We'll stream that live for you right here on WVLT Plus. We'll also have much more coverage for you on the subject, both Dondi's presence, Chancellor Plowman's presence at the White House and the impact on student athletes moving forward. They are not a part of this roundtable, so we're working on covering that aspect for you and what it means moving forward for the student athletes. Of course, your news continues on WVLT News at noon. Olivia Calfield join you at noon alongside Sydney Sullivan with your first alert forecast. Your news continues at 3:30 in the afternoon. And then, of course, Harry's streaming show right here at 6:30. Right here on WVLT Plus at 6:30. We appreciate you joining us for Catch Up Quick today. We'll catch you back here on Monday of next week.